Good evening, ladies and Paul Chamberlain, the Air Force guy here this evening. So we have a few people in the house here. Haven't chimed in yet. They'll appreciate those thumbs up. But those that have announced themselves here this evening, we have Jim Coleman from Reisterstown. Appreciate you coming in the house. And yes, Drummer Boy did take a little bit of a hit. I've kind of cleaned up behind me here, but fortunately we fared pretty well. Only thing we ended up with is a hole in the awning. Nothing major. I just used some Gorilla Tape, fixed it right up. We're good to go. However, some others were not as fortunate. A lot of people with their gazebos and so forth down had somebody I know, their golf cart got damaged. We had the power was out for a while, but it was all in all, they get the power back on about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and everything was good. Reason why I decided to talk about generators tonight is kind of give you some insight. So in the event that you decide to have one as a backup, you know what to do. So you don't run into what I ran into last night. So anyway, Dreaming Out Loud RVing is here, and appreciate that. Down there in Virginia, Paul and Megan, Frank King, and then of course Wayne Kern as well. So anyway, when you're getting a generator, a couple things you want to consider. Number one, of course, I would be concerned with how loud it's going to be. Obviously, the better unit that you get, the quieter it's going to be. But the other thing you've got to be conscious about is whether or not it's grounded. And you also want to make sure that you have a pure sine wave inverter generator. Now, what does that mean? You know, with electronics nowadays being so sensitive, it is important that your power that you're receiving is more of an even flow. They have modified sine wave inverters, which are more of a square, and then they're dropping and going up and down, and it's more of a crisp. So it's not as fluent, and it's not giving you as crisp of a signal, and it tends to damage your sensitive equipment, such as your computers, your phones, things of that nature, even TVs. So be careful when you're getting them. Just because I see a lot of people going out there and buying these cheap generators, and they have no idea what they're getting. All they're looking at and all they care about is the price that they're paying for the generator itself. Now, I picked up just so that I was able to go ahead and just keep some power running, because I had a spare refrigerator I wanted to keep going. And then, of course, I wanted to keep the batteries going in the coach. So I just picked up a small 2,000 watt inverter or inverter generator, that would give me about 13.3 amps, which would have been fine for what I needed it for, because the one refrigerator would have been 6.2 amps. And then figuring had a 12-volt refrigerator in my camper, and we've been running some lights and stuff. So I figured, heck, we might pull maybe 3, 4, maybe 5 amps in there, because I'd run the water heater on propane, wouldn't be running on electric. But what happened was, and I didn't realize this, and then it dawned on me, because I remember somebody in our parts department saying something about this, that this particular generator needs to be grounded. Now, how did I find out about that? People, even in the event that you get a generator, do not take your EMS surge protector out of the equation. The reason for that is how I found out that I had the issue, because it threw an error code. I was wondering, why the heck am I not, the generator's running, why am I not having 110 power to the coach? And then I checked my surge protector, and that's where it was telling me. And what it was a ground fault. That's when I realized, you know what? And I didn't have something long enough where I could connect it to the generator and run it over to a ground for the outside. I have a ground that I could have put it to. I just didn't have a wire long enough to go ahead and make that connection, and then we would have been fine. So keep that in mind in the event that you're going to be getting an inverter generator. Now, I could have I even went one step further just to see, because my refrigerator was working fine. However, I took the surge protector out of the equation, and it was overloading the generator for some reason, and I had nothing on. So I don't know what caused that. I'm going to go ahead and investigate, kind of look into that a little bit for you here in the near future. Appreciate you guys joining us here this evening. Chuck Ash down there in Salisbury, Maryland, and Brian Matthews finishing it out here. But, now when you're getting one, you've got to determine, okay, what all do you want to operate? And you've got to do the equation like that. Now, you can connect two of your surge protectors together to give you additional power. So you could buy two 2000s to give you enough to operate enough so you could run an air conditioner. But then at that point, I would tell you, play it safe and not operate still operate everything else on propane and so forth. If you wanted to run the microwave, I'll just tell you to shut off the air conditioner just for that short period of time, and I think you'd be fine. But at 13 amps, there are people out there that'll have a 13.5 air conditioner. They'll use a 2,000 watt inverter generator, and it will go ahead and operate the 13.5 air conditioner. What they're doing is they're using a soft start on their air conditioner. And instead of having when you turn the air conditioner on where it ramps up, and then once it settles down, then it's down lower, that's how they get around that, so that it'll just slowly come up to using the amount of power that it needs to. I have not heard anybody using a 15,000 BTU AC, but I have heard people with 13.5s doing that. It's the soft start is something that has been in the boating industry for years, and it's just starting to trickle out into the RV industry. Now, I would tell you that if you had a 13.5 Furrion, I would tell you not to do that, because the Furrions tend to draw a little bit more amperage than your typical Coleman Mach air conditioners. So hopefully that helps. If anybody has any questions, by all means, do chime in. So when you are looking to get something, again, understand that it's not going to have, most of them are not going to have the 30 amp plug that you have for your camper. So you're going to have to buy an adapter that goes from your 30 amp to either a 3 or 4 prong 30 amp plug. So keep that in mind. But does anybody have any questions on what I've discussed so far? Give you a chance to chime in. Everybody, is this something that you've heard of before? So again, I just try to keep things short and sweet, give you the information that you need so you can make an educated decision when you're getting out there. By the way, if you're watching this on replay, please do put a comment down below. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you're thinking. And if there's some other topic that you'd like me to cover. Now, I'm planning on getting my Wi-Fi corrected here. And that way there I'll be able to go back to my StreamYard. So I'll be able to have actual other pictures and things to go ahead and share with you. So tonight I wasn't able to show you a modified sine wave versus a pure sine wave. Keep that in mind. Also, if for those of you that are deciding to get an inverter installed in your camper, be sure that it's a pure sine wave inverter, not modified. So it goes that way as well for you. So hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of information that has been helpful for you here this evening, so you don't run into issues down the road. I can tell you what, the generator that I had, this 2000, was an Energizer. Very, very quiet. So here is Bamster and Kent down there in Southern Maryland. I appreciate that. I believe you're Southern Maryland, right, Bamster? Let me know. I believe that's where you guys are from. It's either that or Virginia. Might be getting my wires crossed on that one. So as you can see, I got a nice little fire going there. I'm trying to take care of, there's a stump underneath that fire pit. That's not where I'm going to have the fire pit. Eventually, I'm going to have it back over here. You can see I have some bird feeders back behind me there. Just put those up today. Got one for some hummingbirds, and then just trying to get some birds coming in here, trying to lighten it up. I got to plant some more grass back here, make this place a little bit more livable, that's for sure. But having a great old time here. The weather's kind of cool here this evening. Going to get down to 55 degrees tonight. Looking forward to that, not having to run the air conditioner and so forth. So do I have some weather? Did you have? Yes, we did. And somebody said that we might have had a little tornado touchdown here. Ellicott City, there, Bamster, I see it. All right, so you are Maryland. Okay, that's south of me anyway. But the supposedly they said we might have had a tornado touchdown. I know we had a tree fall and hit some wires. One camper had a tree on it. Somebody else had their golf cart damaged. And then we had, there was a bunch of branches everywhere. And as I had mentioned earlier, we got a hole punctured into our awning because I keep my awning out. Now, keep in mind, folks, your awnings are for shade. They're not for keeping you dry in the rain. However, if you're like me, I keep my awning out all the time. I've got it ratcheted down. Unless I know a storm's coming, if I would have known that the storm was going to be as bad as it was and I was here, I would have unhooked it and put it away. Then I wouldn't have had that issue. But the wife was here and the dogs were here and it came up on us pretty quick. So, but otherwise, things went pretty well. So, we drove around the campground kind of checking on people, found somebody's awning that wasn't in a very good position. I went ahead and straightened it out for them because they're not here. But like I say, power came back on at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and we were back in business. So, and then Ziggy from up there, hold on, is that North Carolina? Ziggy, am I getting that right? Or are you from up in British Columbia, up that area? Am I getting my wires crossed? Okay, you are North Carolina. Good deal. Well, listen, I appreciate everybody coming in here this evening. Appreciate you watching on replay. If you are, be sure to click that thumbs up, will you please? I don't care. Even if you click the thumbs down, I'm okay with it. It's okay. I'm good. But if there's some particular topic that you'd like to discuss, please do chime in. Once I get this other system up, I'll be testing it out. And with that, what I'm going to start doing is when people have questions, I'm going to allow you to come on and ask your questions. That way there we can have a better dialogue. So hope you enjoyed this little short, brief, to the point presentation here this evening. And I'll be coming back at you again next week. So you all take care. Thanks again. And let's see, hope the weather is done this week. Going to PA Dutch, no doubt. It's going to be a nice area, nice place up there. Hopefully it's done till at least Sunday. So thanks again. And we will see you all. Well, you'll see me next week, same time. Take care.